Good Thursday evening, everyone. It's another action-packed edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Busy day today. We've had waves of rain. Some of it's been pretty heavy. There's been some lightning and some thunder. Here's a look at the last 24 hours. Select rainfall totals here. About 3/4 of an inch in Boardman, but over an inch. Latonia down to Guilford. Over towards East Palestine, pretty close to an inch. Not sure I buy that East Liverpool number at 0.06. I think amounts have probably been higher down there. Downtown Youngstown here at the WFMJ studios, a little over a half an inch in the last 24 hours. And Newton Falls checks in at 0.82. Some radar estimates here. Let's query a couple of these. Most of the really hefty amounts have been off to our south. 1.6 just south of the Columbiana County border there. And some higher totals perhaps contaminated by some hail in the panhandle of West Virginia earlier on. This, though, pales in comparison to what's happened off to the east. Some of these rainfall totals are very impressive in Delaware. Upwards of a foot of rain. I've been telling you about this all week, that this would be a big problem for the Mid-Atlantic region, and that has come to fruition. I've been giving the water vapor loop some love today. Really cool feature to check out here on the water vapor imagery. It's, of course, our upper level cutoff low pressure system. The jet stream is up here. That didn't show up very well, but anyway, it's up there. And so detached from the jet stream is our low, which is spinning across the lower Ohio River Valley. Look at all the dry air sweeping in behind it and coming up like this. But it only gets so far before the moisture increases again, a little bit closer to the low center. We did have some impressive hail today in the panhandle of West Virginia. This is, when you see hail of, golf ball size to 2 inches in West Virginia in late September, that's kind of unusual, but this is an unusual system after all. Thankfully, we didn't have any problems like that here locally. When I recorded this video at, what time is it? 8:13. Here's a radar loop of the last 6 hours, and looks like, let's actually go, so I'm not missing any data. Let's go for the last 4 hours. That's a little better. This is a band that came through right around dinner time and just before 21 News at 6, right here. This was some heavy rain, kind of like a fire hose, extending up like this, and that's what brought the torrential downpours to some parts of the area right around 5, 6 o'clock. I've had a relative lull since then, but look at the radar here at 8:13. We've got another wall of water heading our way. It's going to turn into just a soggy Thursday evening with light to moderate rain pushing back in for the rest of the evening. Of course, all rotating around our low pressure system off to the south and west. Our high-res Futurecast, doing okay, but not really. I mean, it's got it, but the radar depiction and what it thinks is happening don't quite match real nicely, but nonetheless, has a period of pretty good rain coming through this evening. Showers visit a few more times overnight and heading into parts of Friday as well. Now, I don't think Friday is as wet overall as today turned out to be. Much like today, I don't think it's going to rain all day Friday, and I think the breaks in the showers could be a little bit longer than today. So you'll notice the model doesn't have much going on here at midday. Not much in the afternoon either. Now, could this band at high school football time tomorrow, instead of being here, be like this? Yeah, that's possible. These things, as I've been saying, are hard to predict more than a few hours ahead of time. They have a mind of their own in this kind of a setup. So if you're heading off to high school football tomorrow evening, take the poncho. Don't take this verbatim. There's a chance you get missed, but there's a chance you get some downpours. I do think more places will be dry Saturday, and in fact, we'll start to see some dry air wrapping in. I think we'll see some intervals of sun on Saturday. Could there be a shower before the day is through? Yes, but I think Saturday is quite a bit less wet, or drier, if you will, than Thursday and Friday. Same old's true for Sunday as this thing starts lifting away. Don't think there's much more than a passing shower or two on Sunday. Here's our upper level low. Taking a look at the atmospheric moisture. Precipitable water is what we call this product. By the middle of next week, our upper low is finally pushed off into New England. Here's the next cold front heading our way, but ahead of that front, it's going to turn warmer midweek and a little more humid even. It's going to feel more like late August than early October, middle of next week, with temperatures in the 70s. And then we should see another shot of cooler air coming in behind this towards the end of next week into that second full weekend of October. Quick detour to the tropics. This is Hurricane Matthew. Became a hurricane earlier on today. Sustained winds 75, gusts up to 90. This is south of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. There's Puerto Rico right there. Here's Hispaniola. Over here's Jamaica. There's Cuba. What's going to happen with Matthew? Well, this is going to head west and then do like a right hook and perhaps impact Jamaica over the weekend, perhaps impacting Cuba as well, the eastern half of Cuba. What happens beyond that is very, very uncertain. Here's a look at the vast majority of the computer models. Now, there is a theme here when you kind of take the middle of this, and that is that it may miss Florida, maybe a big problem for the Bahamas, and then may or may not impact the Carolinas, might stay out to sea. We don't know the end game with Matthew, so if you have relatives or friends down in the Carolinas, even in Florida, if they're lucky enough to be vacationing in the Bahamas, this is of definite interest to them, and we'll, of course, be honing in on this with a little more confidence as we go through time, but at some point next week, middle of next week, say, in the latter portions of next week, this might be a problem for parts of the U.S., but it could also stay out to sea. We just don't know yet. All right, October forecast. So with the first day of the month coming on Saturday, here's what we expect as far as temperatures in October. What else is new? We've only had one below average month so far this year. That was April. October should be another warmer than average month here locally. What about precipitation? I'm kind of hedging on the side of dry, but don't have it officially drier than average. I have it near average. But if it's going to be one side of average, I suspect it's a little drier than average in October. I don't think it's a real wet month compared to average here. So it's either near or somewhat below average in terms of rainfall as we head into the month of October. That's the idea anyway. We'll see how it pans out. And we'll see how the evening pans out as you join me tonight on 21 News at 11. I'll have the radar, the 7-day, and all sorts of other good stuff. See you then. Hope you have a great rest of this Thursday night. I'll see you back here on Friday.